And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm talking about Wave 5 of Dungeons & Dragons Attack Wing. This wave has 2 dragons in it. It's the first one I think that has 2 dragons, a small dragon and then a big undead dragon, and an elf ranger, and who cares about that sort of stuff. Let's take a look at these 3 guys, and we'll be back. So first, we're going to take a look here at the Underdark Ranger. All right, pretty cool model. Looks good. All right, fantastic. Let's take a look at the stats. Of course, you know, this, I didn't even think about it when I opened up the box, and oh, an Underdark Ranger, I didn't realize was also the most famous character probably in all of D&D, and that's Drizzt. And here you can see 17 for a normal guy, but 14 for Drizzt, and that's because of the upgrades that Drizzt has available to him. I'm pretty sure of that. Well, not to mention a 4 attack and all the upgrades that he can put on here. And when he reveals a non-pivot maneuver, he gets +1 to his speed. So if you take the speed here on the Elf Ranger and add 1 to it, that really gives him some pretty good speed for a ground unit. So we take a look at his different upgrades that he has here. Here we have his cat. So basically you have this, as long as you're not in the air, which is not too difficult, but you can get 4 dice against someone that's range 1 at 2. That comes with you as well as your bow. A spider silk shirt, which can cancel 2 hits. His bow here, which is a really great bow. Range attack 1 to 4, and you can convert 1 hit to a critical hit. A meditative trance here, basically, where you can, every 2 turns, essentially, you're adding +1 attack dice and +1 defense dice in melee. Combat reflexes, which help you make pivots better. And Twinkle and Icing Death, which is, I think, the only card that is a sword and a shield combo. So you get some extra bonus on attack and bonus on defense. And then Fairy Fire here, which is for all Drow elves, and you can attack with them. So that's the famous Drizzt with some really cool upgrades. Now we have the Bronze Dragon, and I actually really like the paint job on the Bronze Dragon here. It kind of has some more subtlety to it. It's not just straight bronze, at least I don't think it is anyway. So let's take a look at the stats here of the young Bronze Dragon. Now this is by far the weeniest of all the dragons, but that's good because sometimes you're going to want to put a lower point dragon in your deck. So here I have a 22 cost and a 30 cost. 1 armor, some dodging though, so there's that. Because of that, they really did a good job, I think, at making these smaller dragons feel very maneuverable, being able to dodge. Although he can't fly as fast as the bigger dragons, but he sure can turn and do some cool stuff. Comes with Lightning Breath, and Shocking Grasp was like an extra lightning attack in front of you. The chance to hover, so you can pivot in air, which is nice. Repulsion Breath here, where you can half other people's primary attacks. Idealism, where you can disable this upgrade to convert an eyeball to a hit, which is nice, very useful. And Pearl of Power. But the upgrades are not so much of the big thing about the dragon. I think this is more just so you can have a cheap, small, easy to maneuver dragon around. And here is the dragon, or the Dracolich, and I think this will be probably the most popular model that they will have for a while. I'm not as big a fan of zombies as everybody else is, but even I can't deny how this is pretty cool looking. How when you look at the paint job is neat. It has a really cool zombie flair. It's a really neat model, and it's nothing to sneer at. The regular red Dracolich is 40 points, and then the named one here is 60, the highest cost character in the game. He is an 18 level. They have great armor, hit points, an attack of 5. He can instantly destroy a figure. Maneuvering for this guy, slow. I mean, that's kind of what you expect from a zombie dragon, but powerful and decent on the ground. Another thing I should point out, 2 different types. This is the only dragon that's like that, where they're fire and shadow, which lets you have some great variety in mix and matching. And it comes with fire breath if you want to use that. The paralyzing touch. This is really useful. Someone who you just damaged, you can kind of paralyze them, and there's a whole set of rules about that. You can be a destroyer. When you attack with your breath weapon, you can do an extra attack die against everyone who you hit with it. Shatter to disable an upgrade. Confusion to confuse your opponent. And then 2 artifacts come in this set. The Talisman of Ultimate Evil and the Talisman of Pure Good. You'll notice the weird coloring on these. That's because they can go in any upgrade slot. And you have to be good to use one and evil to use the other. And essentially here, you can get rid of them to get rid of an upgrade on somebody else. Someone's using a very powerful upgrade and you're really annoyed by it, here's your chance to get rid of it. So you can see here that there's some very impressive, I just think this will be the best-selling wave there is, because how many people are going to want to buy Drist? Period. But just because it's so popular. And an undead dragon. So I think those 2 are just going to be flying off shelves likely, and especially because I like the fact you can buy Drist and buy multiple copies and just use them as regular rangers, and that's pretty neat. But of this set, I mean, the big undead dragon's really cool. I don't know which one is my favorite. I think actually I like the little dragon, if only because I can get maybe 1 or 2 of those dragons for a cheaper price and maneuver around, and I like how they're, I don't know, I just like, they feel, I don't know how to explain it, but I just like having that dragon. It doesn't feel like a big monster, but a small, more cool little dragon flying around. But all these are really neat, and that is Wave 5. Like I said, probably the best-selling one, but certainly worth looking into.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!